Hello everyone, Sir and Disney here in a very somber mood. I had a very well, I had a day today. I'm not going to go into what happened during the day. I'm just going to say I had a day today. And a very confused Sir and Disney tonight, actually, to be totally honest. But a very wary Sir Owen Disney tonight of basically not sure what to believe, what not to believe. So I guess things will play out like they will. But tonight AJ and I watched Star Trek, and Into Darkness was phenomenal, and go see it as soon as possible. Doesn't matter if you watch it regular or 3D; they're both excellent. And the 3D I thought was done very well, and very great utilization of the 3D technology. So hopefully you guys will go out and see it, and if you want to hear about it before, there's a video right here on this very channel, so click the pop playlist or the recent videos, whichever way you want to get to it, and you can see AJ's movie review of Star Trek Into Darkness that we filmed probably a couple hours ago, actually. So it's out and ready to roll, and we got the drop on all the major critics, and that's awesome. And also AJ's reviewing 3 limited releases this week: Aftershock, Erased, and Java Heat. So check those out. And next week we have Epic and Fast 6 and some other movie that comes out on Wednesday that doesn't matter at all. But if you guys know what I'm talking about, I'm sure you do, obviously that will probably be there, along with if AJ's able to watch The English Teacher, which I know he's trying to, but hasn't found the player that works yet. So I got that ready to go. I have some videos in the can for later this weekend. AJ's out of commission officially now because his mom's going to be out of town. So he's not going to be able to be around until at least Monday. So hopefully Monday we're going to be doing a Celebrity Apprentice recap for the finale. We did a part 1 last week, and we are going to hopefully do a part 2 this week. So that's what we have to look forward to. And a lot of content from Will this weekend. And Mr. Flashback will officially make his debut, reviewing No Holds Barred on Saturday. So that's coming up later this weekend. So plus, obviously, thanks to the SNS Radio Network Facebook page, I do have access to my precious NXT. So I will be reviewing NXT and SmackDown on Saturday because I don't work Saturday. So I've got a whole day of doing stuff, and we're reviewing NXT and SmackDown. I'll do it in the morning, Mr. Flashback in the afternoon or evening, and should be a good night. So that's what we got coming up. Once again, I say this every week, and I'll continue to say it again. If you guys want to join the Popcaster Revolution, if you want to contribute to this channel, if you want to contribute to Pop, become a Popcaster yourself, then get at me. Get at me on Facebook at Owen Disney. Get at me on Twitter at Sir Owen Disney. Or you can email me any submissions you would like to have put on this very channel to sirowen@gmail.com. So you can check me out that way. And if you want to be a part of Pop, and you're good, and we will gladly give you consideration and broadcast you all over the world, because I have viewers all over the world watching these very videos that I shoot here with my iDevices and no editing. So we're completely different from everything else. So I am ready to roll, and we are going to talk TNA Impact. And Impact tonight was pretty good, actually. We're still building towards Slammiversary. We still have a couple weeks left. Obviously, Slammiversary is going to be June 2nd at the Boston, actually, will be where the pay-per-view is going to take place. So that's going to be pretty good. So let's talk TNA. And I know something Will doesn't want to do, but I'm going to do it because I love TNA. So we're going to talk TNA. So show opens up in a way that Will absolutely loves, and that is, of course, Hulk Hogan making his way to the ring. He's totally shocked about what happened with AJ Styles last week and how he walked away. And it doesn't really matter because the Cyborg himself, Kurt Angle, took the fight to him toe-to-toe, man-to-man, and at Slammiversary, you will see a matchup between Kurt Angle against AJ Styles. They will lock it up one more time at Slammiversary in Boston. And later tonight, we're going to see our contract signing for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship match at Slammiversary between Bully Ray defending against the Icon Sting. Now, before he gets going a little bit further, he basically says he wants to thank Abyss personally for being the saving grace for TNA last week and causing the Aces and Eights to get out of Dodge. So he calls out Abyss, his music plays, no Abyss. So immediately my first thought is, maybe, just maybe, he got, I don't know, maybe he was attacked by Aces and Eights, because, that seems to work sometimes. But it was all for nothing because his music plays again, and here comes not Abyss, well, not exactly Abyss, but Joseph Park. So I'm very happy to see Joseph Park, because I have no problem with the character being used on TNA, because I love the Joseph Park character. I think we've gone a long way with it. And I like the Abyss character, so if he's going to portray both, I have no problem with that at all. So at this point, Aces and Eights music hits, and here comes Devon Delo Brown. And they all want a piece of Abyss. Abyss stuck his nose in club business, and they want revenge. So, basically, at this point, Joseph Park says, you know what, I'm fed up with you guys. I'm not dealing with this anymore. I want Devon, and I want him right now. And Devon's like, no. You don't just make matches, knowing that Hulk Hogan's in the ring with him. Obviously, he's the one that makes the matches. And he basically, before he can go any further, Delo pipes up like, no, I'll do it. I'll take care of it. I'm going to take out Joseph Park tonight. So Hulk Hogan says, okay, Delo, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it, and you're going to get it, because tonight it's going to be Joseph Park against Delo Brown. So that's the match we get for later tonight. And basically, he wants it to be made perfectly clear that when Devon finds Abyss, he's going to personally take a chunk out of his ass. Well, Hulk Hogan makes another stipulation. When Joseph Park defeats Delo Brown, not if, but when, that's Hogan's words, not mine, he's going to get his immediate shot against Devon. So we're going to see a TV title match between Joseph Park and Devon if he can get past Delo Brown tonight. So we see the Cowboy James Storm, and he's very quiet and very reserved, which is very unlike James Storm. And basically the mysterious interviewer corners him and asks him about what happened, how he got left laying by presumably Bad Influence and Austin Aries and Bobby Roode last week on Impact. And basically, when asked if there's going to be any revenge, any repercussions, that word is used a lot tonight actually, Storm says, just watch. Just watch. So, very cryptic statement there. We come back and we see a hype video for Christian York and how Christian York has been in this business for 16 years. Successful tag team with Joey Matthews or Joey Mercury, current WWE road agent, if you want to call out what he is now. And basically it's hyping him up and getting him ready for the 4-man chance to determine what member of the Gut Check is going to get into the Bound for Glory series this year. Which, of course, will end up at Bound for Glory, like it always does. But there are 4 Gut Check participants that are going to get a shot at this spot. And this week, we get a match between Jay Bradley and Christian York. But I'll talk about that in just a minute. So, we see what York has done. He's been in some very high-profile matches since joining TNA. I mean, having a really good series of matches with Rob Van Dam when he was the X Division champion, as well as taking Jeff Hardy to the limit when he was TNA World Heavyweight Champion. So we get to our first match of the evening, and it's the It Factor, Bobby Roode taking on one half of the TNA World Tag Team Champions, Chavo Guerrero Jr. So we get to the end of the match, Chavo hits 3 Amigos, goes up top for the Frog Splash, and Aries gets up to the top and crotches him on the ropes. He falls to the floor. Now, this allows James Storm to come out with a beer bottle. And he takes a swig of the beer. Storm turns Roode around, and he beer misses him. He just spits the beer right in his eyes. And he looks like he's going to nail Bobby Roode with a beer bottle, but Roode powders before that can happen. Of course, this causes for the disqualification, and Chavo wins. So, basically, that's the end right there. We get, next segment, basically, Kurt Angle comes out, and he calls out AJ Styles. He says, I can't trust anyone in that locker room right now. I never back down from a fight. And he doesn't want to wait until Slammiversary. He wants AJ now. Well, instead of AJ coming out, we get Mr. Anderson that comes out absolutely instead. He says AJ sounds like a woman. And basically, AJ sounds like a woman. Angle sounds like a woman. AJ's not your boy anymore. And next week in Tampa, I'm going to personally delight as we patch in AJ Styles. So, at this point, Angle sucker punches Mr. Anderson. And here comes Emo AJ from behind. And he nails a step-up insecurity on Angle, lays him out. And then he just walks to the back. So, presumably, we're going to get AJ Styles joining Aces and Eights next week. But I think, just like Transformers, there's more than meets the eye to that. We witness another hype video, this time for Jay Bradley, putting over the match he had with fellow OVW alumnus Brian Cage, which got him this shot in the first place. And basically he says that he's here, pun intended, to make an impact. And his time is coming. So next, that sets up our next match of the evening, Jay Bradley taking on Christian York. Of course, this is to set up who is going to go on to face the other participant, which I believe, I'm not positive, but I believe it's Sam Shaw versus Brian Cage. I'm not positive about that, but I think that's right. And the winner of that match will face the winner of this match, and that person will get into the Bound for Glory series. So that's pretty much what we got. And that match will take, for the Bound for Glory series spot, will take place at Slammiversary. So, basically, there's a slam, York ducks out of the way of the boomstick, and then York hits the cannonball in the corner. He goes for the mood swing, and basically Bradley slips out. We get to the end of the match, and York goes for that knee trembler off the top, that knee drop to the back of the head, or the top of the head in this case. Bradley gets out of the way just long enough for him to load up the boomstick and nail that stiff lariat for the 1-2-3. Very surprising win for Jay Bradley, actually beating Christian York. He gets on the mic with Christy Hemme and pretty much says that now he is one step closer, and one step closer to being your TNA World Heavyweight Champion, which means he has to win the Bound for Glory series, obviously, which probably won't happen. But it's really cool to see that they're giving a gut check participant a shot at the Bound for Glory series. So we focus on James Storm leaving Hulk Hogan's office. We hear the tail end of the conversation. Once again, that his actions have severe repercussions. And once again, just keep watching. So we see Aces and Eights out in full force. Everyone's back there. They can't wait to patch AJ in next week. And, Delo has to earn his cut back. And that's what he has to do. And he has to beat Joseph Park to do just that. So that's going to be coming up. So basically, after this match, we see the introductions of Gail Kim and Velvet Sky. So they're going to have a non-title match. Now, before we get to the match, we see Brooke Hogan backstage with Mickie James, basically putting over her new music video and her new album. And Mickie says, you know what, I kind of want the spotlight. I mean, Slammiversary is kind of a big pay-per-view, obviously. So I want to be a big part of it. And Mickey's basically kind of dejected she's not. And Brooke's like, don't worry about it. That's fine. I understand where you're coming from. But I'm going to make your match next week for the championship against Velvet Sky. So the Knockouts title will be on the line next week in Tampa. So that should be pretty good. And the Knockouts match tonight was pretty good too. Gail Kim's got this new deal where she works the leg. And of course, we're setting up what seems to be her new MO, which is the ring post figure 4. So we get midway through the match, and there's a stunner to the kneecap, and she just works the knee the whole match. She DDTs the knee, and locks on a modified Texas Cloverleaf. Velvet makes the ropes, and puts on the stretch muffler. Again, Velvet breaks it. Velvet ends up hitting a non-seated version of the Iconoclasm, which, if you guys remember old school, remember the Quebecers used to do the tower spot. Basically, it's the holding the hands and flip them off the top rope without the sit-out, because Chris Daniels uses it as a sit-out. He actually uses it as a like a halo like this, and then flips them off that, but that's pretty much like a version of that. So Velvet's knee buckles on her comeback, and goes for the in-yo face, and gets the leg sweeped out, And Gail hits the turnbuckle, gets rolled up for the pin, 1, 2, 3. Now after the match, she locks on the ring post figure 4, and ODB makes the save and breaks it up. So, once again, Gail Kim doesn't care if you're babyface or heel. She wants to make an impact and take out anybody in the Knockouts division. Strong match tonight with Gail Kim and Velvet Sky. Really great action from Gail Kim. I really like how she Anderson the match and worked one body part the whole time, setting up for her ring post figure 4, which is basically going to do nothing more than soften Velvet Sky up for the match against Mickie James next week with the championship on the line. So after this match, we get an awesome 3-way X Division title match with Kenny King defending against Petey Williams and the returning Chris Sabin. And this match was awesome. So, King goes for the Royal Flush, and it gets reversed. There's a spin kick to the stomach by Chris Sabin. There's an enziguri. King gets locked up in the Tree of Woe. Sabin picks up Petey Williams and nails a Spicoli driver onto Kenny King, who's tied up in the Tree of Woe. That looked awesome, by the way. And basically, Sabin gets nailed with a shotgun knees to knock him out momentarily. Nails the Royal Flush on Petey Williams and gets the pinfall. Kenny King once again wins, and we're going to get Kenny King against Chris Sabin against the return of Suicide at Slammiversary in an Ultimate X match. So that's match going to be amazing because Kenny King is the only person that really doesn't have much X Division experience when it comes to the Ultimate X, and Chris Sabin and Suicide both have done their share of Ultimate X matches, so it's going to be pretty good. We see Bad Influence in the back. They're kind of worried a little bit about James Storm walking about, given the fact that they already watched him deal on Bobby Roode, and now they're going to try to make life miserable for Daniels and Kazarian. But Daniel says, I'm kind of worried about Storm, and Kaz says, don't worry about it so much. Daniel says, I'm the ring general, but obviously I want you in my corner. And Kaz like, don't worry about it. He's Super Max, I'm Super Kaz. Storm is totally afraid of me. I mean, he's somewhat afraid of you, but he's totally afraid of me. And I'll be at ringside. Just drink your Appletinis. As a matter of fact, just drink numerous Appletinis, and things will be okay. So, we see Mr. Anderson and Delo, and they're kind of chatting about... We kind of walk in on their conversation. They said basically things have been spiraling out of control ever since Delo threw Garrett Bischoff and Wes Briscoe under the bus, basically snuffing out their opportunity at taking out Kurt Angle, which is what they came to do in the first place. And Mr. Anderson basically was told by Delo, was like, I thank you for not letting Bully cave in my head with the hammer. And he's like, I didn't do it for you, I did it for the club. It's the right thing for the club for you to be at top-notch, top form, and I'm pulling for you tonight. So that's what we have. We get our next match of the evening. The Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels, my personal favorite wrestler in TNA, taking on the other half of the TNA World Tag Team Champion, Supermax Hernandez. So Hernandez hits Colt 45 and runs off the top. Runs to the top of the ramp, hits Air Mexico. Kaz trips him up. Daniels clotheslines to the back of the neck, and Kaz ends up putting the boots to him on the outside when Daniels tosses him to the floor. Kaz pulls Daniels out of the way, and Supermax hits the corner, literally the ring post, like full on forehead first. Goes for Angel's Wings, and basically James Storm comes out, chases Kaz away, and Hernandez allows this to pounce him in 1, 2, 3. So that's the end of that match. Well, after this, James Storm basically comes out with a microphone and says, I've came out here not to attack anyone, but to make an announcement that at Slammiversary, it's going to be Chavo and Hernandez defending the World Tag Team Championships against Bobby Roode and Austin Aries. And Daniels and Kaz are like, what? Come on, this is crap. And they're like, and Bad Influence, Kaz and Daniels. And then he stops and he goes, and someone that knows a little bit about tag team wrestling himself, the Cowboy James Storm, and a mystery partner. Now, bells went off in my head immediately, and I think that I don't know what he looks like now. We saw him back, the strange run with Matt Hardy against Beer Money, and he looked kind of out of shape. Very Braden Walker. But I think it's a very good possibility at Slammiversary, we very well can see the return of America's Most Wanted. I think the mystery partner is going to be Wildcat Chris Harris. I mean, you can go a lot different directions, but I think they've set it up. The wheels are spinning, and I think that's what they're going to go with. I think AMW returns, and that's pretty much my opinion on this. I mean, it could be Rob Van Dam, it could be Samoa Joe, it could be someone I'm not even thinking of, but all people that have heat with everyone involved in the match. But, you know, why not? They're not doing anything with Storm right now. Why not put AMW back together? I mean, they are the most dominant tag team in NWA TNA history back in the day when it was called NWA TNA. And why not? Why not do AMW returning? And then at Slammiversary, they've had so much success as a tag team, they win the TNA World Tag Team titles back, and Storm gets his revenge, Harris gets a job back, everyone wins, and the match is awesome. So that's my prediction. That's what I think will probably happen. So, but I could be wrong. Who knows? We'll find out at Slammiversary. So we're almost done, folks. Basically, we announced at Slammiversary, like I said, the aforementioned 4-way World Tag Team title match, which we don't know if it's elimination rules or first pinfall. It could go either way. And of course, I mentioned earlier during the Kenny King, Petey Williams, and Chris Sabin match that there's going to be the Ultimate X match with Chris Sabin versus Kenny King versus the returning Suicide. We're also going to see Kurt Angle against AJ Styles, and the main event, Bully Ray defending the TNA World Heavyweight Championship against the Icon Sting. But we get our somewhat main event of the evening, because the last segment of the show was, just like with Raw, a segment and not a match. So our main event tonight was Delo Brown versus Joseph Park. Delo shows some really good skills in this match. Delo hasn't lost a step in the ring. He hits a Shining Wizard, and he nails the clothesline when Park's in the seated position. And basically, he gets rolled up for 2 when he misses the avalanche in the corner. He nails the leg lariat, the old Delo Brown leg lariat, hits the clothesline in the corner, and he used the taped fist to bust Park's eyebrow open. And the second he senses that his blood is flowing from the eyebrow, his face is a crimson mask. Basically, it just infuriates him, and then he just snaps. He nails 2 clotheslines, avalanche in the corner, grabs Delo, nails the black hole slam in 1, 2, 3. After the match is over, he does the abyss pose, and then he kind of just snaps back to reality, and he goes back to being Joseph Park. I love this character. I really do. I don't know what the final payoff. Maybe the fact that Chris Park has a split personality, maybe. Maybe we're going with that. I mean, they've done the mental asylum gimmick with him before. I mean, it's the Park and on the back of his gear. I mean, we've done that before. I think maybe good time to get Father James Mitchell on the phone and bring him back, and maybe he can be the one to differentiate who's Abyss and who's Joseph Park. I think that's a great idea. And if you know about the Hardcore Justice style pay-per-view that was done like the one night only event, Father James Mitchell did come back, but he wasn't with Park. He was with Judas Macias. And that was interesting, and he faced off against Joseph Park in a Monsters Ball match, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I haven't reviewed any of the one-night-only pay-per-views. I do have access to them, so when I get some time, I might just delve into those and give you guys a review, but I don't know, maybe not, who knows. We get our final segment of the evening. It is the contract signing between Sting and Bully Ray. Now, immediately, JB's in the ring. He calls out Bully Ray. He raises the championship in the air, shoves JB to the outside, and that's the end of him. He basically says, "Do you know who I am?" And of course, we know who you are, Bully Ray. You're awesome. One of the best heels in the business right now, without any question. Not just TNA, but the entire wrestling industry. He says, "I am the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. I am the president of Aces and Eights. I am the man who single-handedly took out Jeff Hardy in his own match, Full Metal Mayhem. And I am definitely going to be the man who's going to take out Sting at Slammiversary." So, this isn't really a contract signing. It's more of a negotiation. And he calls out Sting. Sting comes out. He stands at the ramp. Bully stops him right dead in his tracks and says, "Don't you take one step further." He's like, "I think Hulk Hogan needs to be here for this, and he wants to hear this firsthand," so he calls Hulk Hogan out, and Hogan comes out and joins him. This is the first time that Bully and Sting have been face-to-face ever since the Screwjob, obviously, when everyone thought that Bully Ray was the top babyface in TNA, and he turned on everyone, but he revealed himself as the leader of Aces and Eights, won the TNA World Heavyweight Championship from Jeff Hardy inside the steel cage, and basically shocked the world. except if you're paying attention, like myself. Basically, at this point, Sting doesn't care about an apology. Doesn't really want one. He says, when we get in the ring in Boston, you might as well snap my arm in two. You might as well break my leg, maybe dislocate my elbow, potentially rip my throat out, or even gouge out my eyes. And how about you just make me bleed? Now, Bully Ray thinks about this, and he's mortified at the sheer fact that Sting is so masochistic at this point. And he asks just a simple question: why do you want me to do all these things to you? Sting's simple response: because if you don't do those things to me, I will do those things to you. My sheer point of this match is just simply to make you bleed in Boston. I don't care if it's in the ring, I don't care if it's outside the ring, I don't care if it's in the concession stand, I don't care if it's in the crowd, I just want to make you bleed in Boston. The crowd goes crazy for it. And he says, how about I pick the stipulation? I wasn't going to make any stipulations, but since you backed me into a corner, how about this? How about we do no holds barred? So Bully's like, okay, I'll accept your challenge, but on my terms and my terms only. When I beat you at Slammiversary, you are never allowed to get another shot at the TNA World Heavyweight Championship as long as you are wrestling. I don't want you to retire, no. I want you to wrestle till your dying day, knowing that you can never again get another world title shot in your career. Hogan says, I make the matches, brother. This isn't how it's going to work out. I'm honestly saying right now that you need to say no. Don't let Bully dictate this match. And Bully's like, no, there goes Hogan again, dictating your career like he always does. And of course you're going to do everything that Hulk says. And Sting's like, okay. And he ponders it and he ponders. And Bully's like, okay, fine, Sting, man up right now. Do you want this match? Do you want the no holds barred match against me at Slammiversary? And if so, are you willing to put the fact on the line that you can never get another world title match in your career? Sting says, yes. And then they brawl. And they brawl. And that's the end of the show. So, interesting show, to say the least. James Storm is out for blood, but really he was out to kind of make himself known that he wants revenge. And revenge is not going to be by maybe beating the tar out of Daniels or Kaz or Bobby Roode, or even Austin Aries, who I'm sure is going to eat the pin at Slammiversary. Actually, I guarantee you he'll eat the pin at Slammiversary. If it's an elimination match, or the first one's out. And that's no offense to Bobby Roode, it's just, they got to punish Austin Aries for this crotch gate incident, this stuff with Christy Hemme that happened on the taping that aired before the show that we watched tonight, or last night in this case, that was in Tupelo, Mississippi, Elvis country, and the home of my favorite Hard Rock Cafe chicken. Now, that's what I think is going to happen there. And Aces and Eights, still dissension in the ranks. Don't know what's going to happen with Delo. He obviously doesn't get the job done against Joseph Parks, so doesn't get his cut back. AJ is the X factor right now. Don't know if he's going to get patched in Aces and Eights or not, or if it's one big ruse. Jay Bradley gets a very surprise win in his quest to get into the Bound for Glory series, beating Christian York. We know we're going to get Suicide next week, his return to the ring. Velvet Sky wins, but pays the price, the ultimate price, basically, getting the knee twerked so bad that she may not be able to win the Knockouts title match, her defense against Mickie James next week in Tampa. See an excellent three-way X Division title match. Petey Williams, Kenny King, and Chris Sabin. I want to see a lot more from these three together. Hernandez gets a win over Christopher Daniels, and Bobby Roode ends up losing to Chavo via disqualification with the beer miss from James Storm. Joseph Park got the job done tonight. He saw his own blood. He went into Abyss mode, did the pose, but he snapped back into it. And a lot of stuff really went a lot of different directions. And, of course, Kurt Angle and AJ Styles on a collision course for Slammiversary. So that was Impact. And hope you guys enjoyed TNA tonight. I did. It was very good. Very interested in seeing where we go from here. Next week we're going to be in Tampa. We'll be returning to Florida for the first time since the last time we had a one-night-only pay-per-view a few months ago. So they're not back at the Impact Zone, they're not back in Orlando, but they are back in Florida. So Tampa is Hogan country, specifically. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens there. So I'm very interested in Impact next week, and as we build to the road, the very short road left to Slammiversary, June 2nd in Boston. So that was Impact, and we will be talking NXT and SmackDown tomorrow, and then, like I said, Mr. Flashback coming up tomorrow as well. Sunday, we are going to be throwing out the Extreme Rules prediction. So me and Will did a nice 3-part video, only 3 parts because of technical issues, and hopefully those problems are fixed, at least for the time being, and if not, then I'll have to do what I did last time and wait like 6 hours to upload videos. But don't use the YouTube Capture app because that thing sucks. So once again, if you like these videos, thumbs them up, leave comments, do subscribe, and if you want to contribute to Pop, you're more than welcome to. Send me an email, sirowendisney@gmail.com. So I'm going to get off here because I have to shoot work in about 7 hours. I actually have to be up in about 6 hours to be ready to go because TJ's picking me up at 7:45. So 8 to 2, then I'm going to get my Walgreens on, get me some #Magic Squirtle ice cream to help Penn Jillette get more money, and $100,000, very needed $100,000 for Opportunity Village in Las Vegas. So, and I also want to watch Sunday Penn Jillette win the Celebrity Apprentice like I called all along. And of course, Sunday is also the WDW Today Live podcast, which I will be chatting with everyone in the chat room at live.wdwtoday.com, as well as Extreme Rules, which I will be watching on Monday. So a lot of stuff still to come for this weekend. So I hope you guys like this video, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, a lot of Will coming up this weekend, a lot of Pop content coming this weekend, and you know what? That's all I got to say about that.